I have promised many times that I'm going to make a video to disprove the myth about the superiority of the northern population. Every time we talk about politics, a northerner will come and pump his chest that they have the political advantage because the northern part of Nigeria has the population. So, and to my greatest surprise, most Southerners sheepishly cower into this narrative and feel politically inferior because they sell this narrative to them that because of the population superiority of the North, we should somehow bend logic and subscribe to whatever determinants that is remaining for us to accept when it comes to permutations of politics in Nigeria. I refuse to subscribe to that. And I do this not because of malice. I do this because of awareness, and it is the same awareness I want to sell to you. First and foremost, where is northern part of Nigeria and where is southern part of Nigeria? One of the greatest mistakes we did since amalgamation is referring to the southern protectorate as northern part of Nigeria and referring to the northern protectorate as northern part of Nigeria. That is geographical misappropriation. When the Southern Protectorate and Northern Protectorate came together and formed a country, the Southern Protectorate ceased to exist. The Northern Protectorate ceased to exist. What began to exist was the country called Nigeria. So where is the southern part of Nigeria? Where is the northern part of Nigeria? That was the problem. That is the problem that those who formed this country didn't resolve immediately. Anything from the center part of Nigeria, from the center of Nigeria to the northernmost part of Nigeria is northern Nigeria. Anything from the center of Nigeria to the lower part of Nigeria is southernmost part of Nigeria. But because of our political naiveness in the south and political inferiority complex in the south, we have refused to identify what is rightfully a political description to the extent that we apportion the smaller part of the description of Nigeria to ourselves, leading to most times cowering ourselves and accepting the narratives of those who believe that they have the larger portion of Nigeria to determine what narrative we should buy and what narrative we should refuse. That is not, I will not accept that. Now, because the people who know this narrative I'm telling you is the truth, is the northern politicians themselves. Because anytime they want to choose, like the 19 states of the North, anytime they want to choose the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, they will always choose governors from Benue State, Plateau State, and Taraba State. Now, there's a deliberate reason. There's a constant need to feed these people that are in the lower part of that are closer to the south, to continuously remind them that look, you are part of the North. And because we believe you are part of the North, that's why we make you, can't you see you are the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum? Are you not Northern? You are not. So you can see a place like Benue State that is closest to the south, share most cultures with the south, behaves like the south, even the scenery, even the natural fragrance of the environment is closer to the fragrance of the south, but yet they are referred to as northerners. But yet, if a presidential candidate comes from Benue State, I can assure you that nobody from the North will vote for a presidential candidate from Benue State. Nobody from the North will vote for a presidential candidate from the Plateau or Taraba. So where is the North? They know exactly what they are doing. They have to sustain a narrative that we are bigger in size and we are larger in size. And therefore, anything we tell you about population, you will accept. And you, on the other hand, that is in the south, because when you look at the map, what they apportion to you is small, you believe that a smaller place can only generate smaller population. Therefore, truly, we are small in population. That's not true. And I'm going to explain that. There is nowhere in logical reasoning where, because you have a cluster of people in a place, therefore they have more population. Because anytime they show you pictures from the north, they show you clusters, they show you where people are gathered. They don't show you the vast expanse of land where people don't stay. The northern part of Nigeria is the only place you will travel for minutes on the road. You will just be seeing long expanse of land without, you seeing far beyond the horizon without people. and yet they count the trees and cows and squirrels and little animals in the bushes as people. Don't be deceived. There are no population there. There is no population there. In the southern part of Nigeria, even if we have to take the southern protectorate that is being described as south, the fact that people have smaller landmass doesn't mean they don't have the population. Please do not relate the propensity to population numbers to the size of land. There are people living in 5-bedroom flat, but there are 4 occupants. And there are people living in a room and parlor, yet there are 12 occupants. So you can see size of land does not determine population. Now, why is it, there are questions again I want to ask. Why is it that anytime they want to carry out a census, it is very difficult to get accurate figures from the north? Because census officials will be inhibited from seeing the actual people they are counting. Only one man would tell the census official that, well, I am married, my name is so, I am married to so wife with 17 boys and 12 girls. That's it. It will be put there. It goes to the next house. That's it. They will put there. Before you know it, they've not even gone to 3 houses. You have recorded 200 people. And before you know it, one astronomical figure is brought as a figure representing the true population of the north. That's not true. Because why is it that anytime they want to talk about electronic voting where actual vote will count, watch, it is the politicians from the north that will fight against such a system, because a true election that captures the true figures will reveal the fact, will reveal the lie, many lies they've told you over the years. Why is it that when they say, okay, let us do genuine census where everybody must be seen and everybody must be documented? Why is that it's only in the north that you see that people say, don't go, this house is no entry, there are women in powder? Population figures have never been accurate in the north. Why is it that when there is election, since you have this so much population that you are so confident of, why don't you just rely on the population and vote normally? But why bring underage children? Why bring people from outside the country to come and augment your population? Because you don't have it. Because you don't have the population. You don't have it. Whereas those that have the population, most times don't come out to vote. Most times they shy away from the population. Most times they say, well, population election will not count because eventually population election votes are allocated. Look, for Nigeria to be good, we must start the process of identifying the truth and living by the truth. Enough of the lies, enough of the false narrative, enough of this. If we cannot develop a country where truth guide our existence, then we should break it. If we cannot build a Nigeria where principles and the rule of law guides our coexistence, then break it. Nigeria cannot live forever where people are presented with false narrative and they live by that false narrative. Eventually, those narratives will be punctured by people like me. I will come here and puncture it. Now, this video is not an attempt to wither down the qualities of the North. The Northerners are good people. The Hausas, for instance, they are very, very good people. They are hospitable, they are welcoming, they treat you fine. Let me tell you today, if they offer me a flat in Lagos free of charge, or in Anambra free of charge, and a flat here in Jos, I'll pick the one in Jos, because take away the violence from the Hausa man. They are the most hospitable. Let me be very, very honest with that. But in politics, it's like a certain type of evil suddenly just grip them, and then they begin to tell lies, begin to show hate, begin to, do things that suggest that we've never been one. So the myth that the North has a superior population to the South is not true. There is so far until we are able to conduct a genuine census and determine that, look, the Southern Protectorate is not the southern part of Nigeria. The Northern Protectorate is not the northern part of Nigeria. Geographically, the southern part, the uppermost part of a region is called South, and then the lowermost part of a region is called South. So if that is described, you find out places like Nasarawa, Taraba, Kwara, Benue, they are all, by geographical description, they are all southern part of Nigeria. Take it or leave it. The period where people live and survive and sustain false narrative is over.
We've all just heard what Magnus Oracle had to say. He made some bold points, and while many people are clapping for him, it's important we don't just accept his words without thinking. This idea that the North has the population edge over the South has been thrown around for years. But let's be real, it doesn't hold up when you look closer. It's not just flawed, it's misleading. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's be honest, the myth of Northern numerical superiority is political propaganda. It was never about facts, it was about shaping perception. A perception that gives a certain region the illusion of permanent dominance and the rest of the country the weight of silence. But Nigeria is not a monarchy. No group has a divine right to lead. And no, the North doesn't have the power to decide who becomes president just because they claim to be more in number. When you actually break things down, the math doesn't add up. Think about this. The South is home to Nigeria's biggest and most densely populated cities: Lagos, Port Harcourt, Onitsha, Aba, Enugu, Asaba, Warri, Uyo, Calabar, Benin City, and I'm just getting started. These cities are not just economic hubs, they are packed with real, countable human beings, not inflated figures, not vague census assumptions. Lagos alone, with over 20 million people according to most estimates, likely has more Accra residents than several northern states combined. Kano is large, yes, but after Kano and Kaduna, where exactly is the population boom coming from? Many of these northern states are made up of rural towns and sparsely populated villages spread across dry terrain. Now, let's talk about landmass versus density. A state can be geographically large and still hold fewer people. Yobe, Borno, Zamfara, Gombe, vast lands, but when you travel through them, you see miles and miles of empty space, bushes, desert, and cattle routes, not people. Meanwhile, in the south, you can barely drive 5 minutes without hitting another town, settlement, or housing development. The houses are close, the streets are full, there are schools, shops, traffic, markets, and noise. That's population, that's life, that's what should count. Yet, every time a census is conducted, we hear strange figures from areas with no proof of dense human existence. Suddenly, a dry village with 10 houses has a population of 150,000. How? No schools, no hospitals, no running water, no record of anything. But magically, it houses a metropolis of invisible people. It doesn't stop there. Why is it that every effort to introduce credible technology in elections, from electronic voting to biometric data capture, is met with resistance from certain parts of the North? It's simple. When real votes are counted, real population sizes are exposed. If you truly had the numbers, you wouldn't fear transparency, you'd welcome it. But instead, we see underage voting, fake names, ghost voters, and in some cases, entire LGAs reporting turnout numbers higher than their actual inhabitants. It's all part of a long game, one designed to sell the lie that only the North can decide who rules Nigeria. And unfortunately, many in the South have bought into that lie. They accept political defeat before the game even starts. They say, what's the point in voting? The North would decide. And that's where the real damage happens. Not on election day, but in the minds of the people who refuse to challenge this myth. Let's be clear, the North has every right to participate, just like every other region. But that doesn't translate to control. We must stop acting like the presidency is a birthright. No one region owns Nigeria, and I don't say this out of hate or tribalism. The North has amazing people, generous, hardworking, deeply traditional, but when it comes to politics, there's a different game being played. And until the rest of Nigeria wakes up to it, we will keep spinning in circles. We need a new narrative, one that's built on truth, one where the South no longer carries the burden of inferiority, one where the votes of Nigerians from every region are counted equally and accurately, one where national leadership is earned, not inherited through inflated census data and old political tricks. So, to everyone still pushing the lie that population is the North's weapon, ask for proof. Ask for a credible census. Ask for transparency. Because if what they say is true, they should have nothing to hide. Nigeria belongs to all of us, not just the region with the loudest narrative. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.